The Galactic Council chamber had not been this silent in centuries. Thousands of stars glowed outside the massive transparent dome, but no one admired the view. Every seat was filled. Every species was present. And every face showed tension. This was not a normal meeting. At the center of the chamber, the High Archivist stood slowly. He was old, older than most civilizations in the room. His voice was calm, but it carried weight. "We are here," he said, "to discuss humanity." A low murmur spread across the chamber. Humans. Many delegates exchanged amused looks. Some leaned back in their seats. Others smiled. Humans were not powerful. That was the common belief. Their worlds were few. Their fleets were small. Their technology was strange, often inefficient, and built with brute force instead of elegance. To most of the galaxy, humans were survivors, not conquerors. The Archivist raised a thin hand, and the room fell silent again. "You see them as weak," he continued. "That is your first mistake." Behind him, ancient holograms activated. Old battle records filled the air. Burned planets, broken fleets, empty systems. "These records were sealed," the Archivist said, "from wars humanity never speaks about." The younger species leaned forward now. The images showed humans retreating again and again, losing worlds, losing allies, being pushed to the edge of extinction. A tall commander from the Zarkan Empire laughed. "They lost," he said loudly. "Again and again. This proves nothing." The Archivist turned to him. "No," he replied. "This proves everything." He changed the display. The same records continued, but now something else appeared. Humans rebuilding. New ships. New weapons. New tactics. Every defeat changed them. "They do not break," the Archivist said. "They learn." Some council members shifted uncomfortably. A diplomat from a wealthy core world spoke next. "Humans are divided. They fight each other. They argue. They are unstable." "Yes," the Archivist agreed. "And yet, when threatened from the outside, they become one." The chamber grew quieter. Another hologram appeared. A human fleet, older and smaller, standing against a force 5 times its size. The humans lost that battle, but the next battle looked different. Then the next. Each time, the human ships changed. Their formations improved. Their weapons adapted to enemy shields. "They do not fear loss," the Archivist said softly. "They fear extinction. And when they fear extinction, they become dangerous." The Zarkan commander stood up. "With respect," he said, "my empire has crushed species stronger than humans. Their borders are close to ours. Their resources are valuable. They will submit." A few delegates nodded in agreement. The Archivist's eyes hardened. "This council issues a formal warning," he said. "Do not provoke humans. Do not corner them. Do not force them into total war." The words echoed across the chamber. For a moment, no one spoke. Then laughter. Not loud. Not cruel, but confident. Dismissive. "Are quiet because they are afraid," one delegate said. "They trade because they are weak," said another. "They survive because others allow them to," the Zarkan commander added. The Archivist looked around the room. "You mistake. Silence for fear," he said. "Human silence means preparation." The council vote was called. The warning was recorded. And then ignored. Within weeks, alien fleets moved closer to human space. Patrols increased. Trade routes were restricted. Human colonies were watched, measured, tested. From the outside, humans did nothing. No speeches. No threats. No protests. Just silence. To the galaxy, it looked like surrender. To the Galactic Council, it felt like a mistake. Deep inside forgotten human systems, old lights began to turn on. Shipyards that had not been used for generations. Awakened. Ancient programs started calculating again. And while the galaxy laughed at a warning, it did not believe. Humanity quietly prepared to remind them why the warning had existed at all. The galaxy expected fear. After the warning was ignored, after alien fleets moved closer to human borders, everyone waited for a reaction. A message. A protest. Even a threat. But none came. Human space stayed quiet. No emergency broadcasts. No angry speeches. No ships rushing forward. To the younger empires, this silence was proof of weakness. They are scared, many said. They know they cannot win. Others believed. Alien patrol ships floated near human systems, scanning colonies, mapping defenses. Human cargo ships were stopped and searched. Trade slowed. Pressure increased. Still, no response. Inside the Galactic Council, the mood was uneasy. The High Archivist watched the reports in silence. Every instinct he had told him something was wrong. Humans were not behaving like a cornered species. They were behaving like hunters waiting, far from the council chamber, deep inside human territory. The truth was very different. Human leaders did not meet in grand halls. They met in quiet rooms. Old rooms. Rooms without decoration. The kind built during humanity's darkest times. Human admirals stood before a dim screen, showing the growing alien presence. They think we are weak, one officer said. They always do. The admiral replied calmly. No anger filled the room. No panic. Only focus. Orders were already moving through hidden channels. Old shipyards, once abandoned, came back online. Not the shiny ones seen by the galaxy, but the forgotten ones. The kind built during wars humans never wrote songs about. Factories adjusted their output. Civilian industries quietly shifted to military support. No announcements were made. Humans had learned long ago that loud preparation invited early attacks. Across human worlds, people felt the change without being told. Transport schedules shifted. Communications tightened. Energy usage spiked at night. No one asked why. They trusted the silence. Alien spies reported confusion. Human fleets were still small. Borders still looked thin. But patterns did not make sense. Ships moved in ways that avoided observation. Signals vanished into dark space. It is nothing, alien commanders said. They are hiding scraps. The first real test came at a border colony. An alien patrol destroyed a human listening station. It was a small act, symbolic, a message. The galaxy waited. Hours passed. Then days. No response. Laughter spread through alien ranks. They cannot even defend a sensor, one commander mocked. But something strange followed. The alien patrol ship that fired the shot lost contact during its return journey. No distress signal. No debris. It simply disappeared. Accidents happened in space. That was the official explanation. Then another patrol vanished. Then another. Each time, humans said nothing. Alien commanders grew. Irritated. Fear would have been easier to understand. This silence felt wrong. The Galactic Council called a closed session. Only the oldest members attended. They are removing our eyes, one elder said quietly. Yes, the archivist replied. And they are doing it without letting anyone see how. A junior council member argued, if they were strong, they would show it. The archivist shook his head. Humans do not show strength to intimidate, he said. They show it to end wars. At the edges of human space, new stars began to flicker. Not stars, but engines. Dark ships, unmarked and massive, moved without formation. They did not patrol. They waited. Alien leadership finally decided to act. Openly. A coalition fleet gathered. Larger than anything humans had ever faced. The plan was simple. Strike fast, strike hard, and force submission. Celebrations were planned in advance, across the galaxy. Commentators spoke of the coming lesson. Humanity would learn. Humans still said nothing. No warnings. No pleas. Just silence. Deep within the human command network, the Admiral watched the enemy fleet assemble. "Let them come," he said. Someone asked, "Should we send a final message?" The Admiral paused. "No," he answered. They were already warned. As the alien fleet crossed the final boundary into human space, alarms rang across the galaxy. Not human. Alarms. Alien ones. Something had locked onto them. Something old. Something human. And for the first time since, ignoring the Galactic Council's warning, the galaxy began to feel it. Asterisk. The alien coalition fleet crossed into human space with confidence. Thousands of ships moved together, filling the stars. Their commanders believed the war was already won. Humans had stayed silent for too long. "This will be over quickly," the lead commander said. "They have no spine." The first attack was launched without warning. Energy blasts rained down on the outer human defenses. Small stations were destroyed. Communication relays went dark. From the alien side, it looked like success. From the human side, it was expected. Human command watched calmly. No one shouted. No one panicked. "Phase 1 complete," the human admiral said quietly. The alien fleet moved deeper, pushing fast. They wanted to break human morale before resistance could form. That resistance never came. At least, not at first. Alien sensors began to fail. Long-range scans returned empty space where human ships should have been. Short-range scanners showed strange shadows that vanished when focused on. "This is interference," an officer said. Asterisk, but his voice lacked confidence. Then it happened. One alien cruiser simply stopped responding. Its engines shut down. Its weapons went dead. Before anyone could help, it vanished from all sensors. Moments later, another ship followed. Then another. No explosions. No wreckage. Just disappearance. Fear spread through the alien fleet. Where are they going? A commander demanded. No one had an answer. The first human warship revealed itself. Without warning. Space around it bent slightly, as if reality itself moved aside. The ship was massive, dark, silent, no markings, no flags. Alien weapons locked onto it instantly, before they could fire. Their systems shut down. Across the battlefield, more shapes emerged. Human ships. Not dozens. Hundreds. Then thousands. They did not rush forward. They formed lines. Perfect lines. Calm and controlled, the alien fleet tried to regroup. Orders overlapped. Commands conflicted. Panic spread. Human ships moved. Not aggressively. Precisely. Alien shields failed under weapons. They did not understand. Hulls split open. Fleets that once dominated the galaxy fell apart in minutes. The Galactic Council watched in horror. This was not a battle. It was a lesson. Human ships adapted in real time. Enemy tactics failed after being used once. Weapons lost effectiveness almost instantly. They are learning as they fight. A council member whispered. The High Archivist closed his eyes. "Yes," he said. "As they always do?" The alien commanders finally understood. Humans had not stayed silent because they were weak. They stayed silent because they were preparing something final. One alien admiral tried to open a channel. "This conflict can still end," he said desperately. "We are willing to negotiate." The human response was brief. "You were warned." Nothing more. Human fleets pushed forward, not to conquer, but to erase the threat. Key command ships were targeted. Supply lines vanished. Retreat paths collapsed. The alien coalition broke. Ships fled in every direction. Some escaped. Many did not. When the fighting ended, human ships stopped. They did not chase survivors. They did not celebrate. They simply powered down their weapons. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. The species once called weak had destroyed a coalition in open space. The Galactic Council issued an emergency broadcast. This council acknowledges its failure, the message said. Humanity was right to be feared. Human space returned to silence. But no. The silence meant something else. It meant control. It meant warning. And every species in the galaxy understood. The truth at last. The warning had not been a threat. It had been mercy. Asterisk. The galaxy did not celebrate the end of the war. It went quiet. News of the battle spread faster than any ship could travel. Systems that once mocked humans now watched their borders with fear. Empires that had planned expansion canceled their fleets. Everyone had seen the same thing. Humanity had not fought to conquer. They had fought to end the threat. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, the seats felt heavier than before. No one joked. No one argued. The High Archivist stood again, his voice calm but filled with sorrow. We warned them, he said. And they laughed. Screens around the chamber showed the aftermath. Destroyed alien command ships. Empty battle zones. Survivors drifting in silence. One council member whispered, "Why did the humans stop? They could have taken everything." The archivist answered slowly, "Because humans do not fight for power. They fight for survival. Once survival is secured, they stop." A formal message was prepared. It was not a demand. It was not an apology. It was a request. The Galactic Council asked for communication. For the first time since the war began. Humans responded. A single human representative appeared on the Council's central display. No armor, no weapons. Just a calm face. "You ignored our warning," the human said. "We acted." The Council tried to explain. Politics, fear, misunderstanding. The human raised a hand. "This is not about punishment," he said. "This is about memory." He continued, "You will remember what happens when humanity is cornered. That memory will keep the peace longer than any treaty." Then the screen went dark. Human fleets withdrew to their borders. No occupation. No demands for tribute. No claims of victory. Across human worlds, life returned to normal. Children went to school. Workers returned to factories. Ships resumed trade. But something had changed. Humans were no longer ignored. Alien ships gave human space-wide clearance. Trade negotiations shifted tone. Council members spoke carefully when humans were mentioned. Old records were reopened. The sealed histories of human wars were studied again. This time, they were believed. On a distant alien world, a young officer studied a star map showing human territory. "Why do we leave them alone?" he asked his superior. The older commander did not smile. "Because they gave us a choice," he said. "And we chose wrong once." Far from politics and councils, in deep space, silent human ships continued their patrols. Not aggressive. Not hidden. Present. Watching. Ready. The High Archivist visited the sealed archives one last time. He added a new record to the ancient warnings. It was short. It read, "Humans do not seek war. But when war seeks them, they finish it." The galaxy adjusted its behavior slowly. Empires rose and fell. Orders shifted, but one rule remained unbroken. Never mock humans. Never corner them. Never ignore a warning spoken in calm. Because the galaxy had learned the truth. Too late. Humanity was never weak. They were patient.